thought it was important to have the trees as habitat. It creates a cooler climate. It captures all the mists and moisture coming through from the southerlies, and the habitat. I mean, the wildlife. It's all there to enjoy, and we're just in the middle of it as observers. We see the changes day in, day out, and that's how life goes on.
Well, we're going to come in through an old set of doors that I pulled out of a building a long time ago from Brisbane, and the house basically has a hallway connecting the centre to two wings. And what you'll probably notice straight away are the two big trusses. They've come from the Arnott's Biscuit Factory in Coronation Drive from Brisbane many years ago. But it's a big open space that allows for lots of flow through of air. In our cathedral ceilings, we've got these big panels, and they sit in these inverted T channels, which we could have painted white, but they decided rather than try to hide that, let's just show the process. And they're made out of, the panels are actually made out of a compressed straw, incredibly dense. Each panel is very heavy. It takes at least two people to lift them up. And they've just been slotted in just as a way of adding extra insulation into the space. We had hoop pines and slash pines. The hoop pines had been had their bases burnt out from previous fires from next door neighbours before we even moved in here. So we decided to cut all of those down and we milled them. And then finally we had them taken away and tongue and groove and dressed and brought them in to do all the flooring, which is fantastic. So we had hoop pine and slash pine and basically put the whole house, as the flooring, which was just fantastic. This window, which came from the old Tamrookham homestead, that's been in Susan's family for a long time, and we found it under her old homestead, and I've just kept that for 40 years, and finally found a home for it. And on the left here we've got a bunch of windows that I took out of an old building again in Roma Street back in the mid-80s before 17 National Trust buildings got destroyed. So we still haven't quite finished doing all the architraves. They were all painted this greeny, brewy colour, but we've stripped them all back, remade bits and pieces from the original 5 that I had to have 3 good working sets. So pretty happy with those. They've come up really well.
So a lovely mix of modern features and old, which are built so well that they last, and you can mix it up. And it's what we've done with most of the furniture here. It's either been reclaimed, recycled, and reused. So that's the way we wanted to go, and you can have beautiful features in your house, which will last.
Then we come into our wing with a bathroom here, which in a sense is directly opposite our bedroom. So it's a bit like an ensuite, but it also means that if we've got a lot of people, they also through the corridor have access to both bathrooms if they need. Storage room here on the left again, as well as clothes, etc. And then we have here another room which hasn't been finished furnishing, which is a separate space where we can retire to if we've got parties and there's lots of people and we just want to get away from everything. We can come here. Originally the house was designed as a communal house for two sets of two couples. One couple was going to be down that end, one couple at this end with a communal space. Unfortunately our good friend Jeffrey died, so that sort of fell apart. But he did want us to keep it more or less the same in 2 separate bits. Plenty of cross ventilation again, through louvers, so we can get breeze from the southeast coming right through here in summer and heading out to the other side of the house. Yeah, the house is totally off grid. We're a long way in the middle of nowhere. So powered by 20 230 watt panels, which basically does the whole household quite nicely. It all comes through into this whole electrical system, which is we've incorporated inside the house, which makes it easy for monitoring. We've got lithium-ion batteries. We have down below here. We've got the capability, if we find that we're using too much power or we can't meet the demand, that we can add an extra set of panels in, batteries in next door here, and have a double battery bank. But at the moment, we're seeming to manage quite well. Yeah, so it's a great system, and it's working so far for the last 12 months really beautifully. Yeah. The thing that you'll see, and it's most striking, is the curve on the roof. The sexy roof, I love it. And our builder, it's something that he's been doing for a while, and this has taken it to the max. Those sheets aren't actually curved by prefabricated or curved. They were straight sheets, and what we did was actually bend them, and that's probably the maximum bend you can get. So we've actually put weight on each one, screwed it down as we've gone, sheet by sheet by sheet, to get that curve. And it looks really great. I'm really happy with it. We collect water in our tank on this end and the far end of the house, and all of that gets pumped up with an electric pump up to a header tank, which then comes back down, gravity feed, which again is good for fire because you're not having to depend on electric pumps in a case of an emergency. Gravity feed will always do it. The outside cladding, you can see that it's zinc loom corrugated iron down below, and then we've got basically a fibro cement sheeting above that. Gives a good clean look, but it's also partly as a fire thing, trying to deal with the aspect of having fire nearby in the bush, and it's less combustible, so I think that's a great way to go.